The Pebble smartwatch completely blew up Kickstarter with around 70,000 backers, earning its creators $10 million to bring timepieces into the 21st century, securing its position as the first real must-have smartwatch in the process. Then came the Pebble Steel, which isn't just the best smartwatch ever, it's the first bit of wearable tech that sees smartwatches go beyond the gimmicks we've seen so far. So the Steel is simply last year's Pebble in new metal clothing, although leather straps are available. It has the same great notifications and control features, same killer battery life, plus it benefits from the recent explosion in Pebble apps. The Pebble Steel isn't conventionally gorgeous, but it's the most discreet smartwatch out there, with a sturdy, stylish and still retro design, complete with a nicely curved Gorilla Glass screen. There's still no touchscreen, but we quite like the Pebble's old school and supremely clickable buttons, and it is still waterproof and comfortable enough to wear all day, every day. And while it's not quite as light as the original, it's still lighter than most regular smartwatches. Now, the Pebble essentially plays nice with everything: iPhones, any Android phones, and unofficially with BlackBerry and Windows Phone devices. On iOS and Android, getting started is simply a case of downloading the much slicker and straightforward Pebble companion app and pairing via Bluetooth. And Pebble's new store offers around 1,000 apps, many of which are exclusive to either iOS or Android. iOS 7 now supports sending notifications to Bluetooth devices, but you can't micromanage which ones to send over from your iPhone, whereas with Android, you can do a lot more, including replying to messages directly from the watch. Now, Pebble has always had the best digital watch faces, including this kooky Mario animation, but now it has the best smartwatch apps too. There may be a lot of choice, but the Steel can only hold 8 apps or watch faces at once. Clever developers have got around the 8-app rule by creating packages such as Smartwatch Plus and Pebble cards that bundle features such as weather, calendar and remote shutter into one app. Luckily, the companion app has an app locker to store more, and it's quick to load and unload your apps. Now, the best Pebble apps offer glanceable info for fitness and sleep tracking, for example, bus times, maps, Twitter mentions, or simple wrist-top controls like the built-in music player and control for the Philips Hue light bulbs. The Galaxy Gear may be able to take photos and make calls, but the Pebble's making nice strides into simple, no-frills home automation. And yes, it will set you back an extra £50, but with the new materials and app tricks, it's a very different beast to the original. For a start, there's a 3-colour LED in the bottom left, handy for spotting when it's charged. It holds more apps and watch faces, and it's upped the RAM to 8 gig. So it performs much like its polycarbonate predecessor, a bit of lag moving around the settings menus, and there are some Bluetooth hiccups. But next to the Galaxy Gear and Sony's Smartwatch 2, the Pebble is still the most reliable and smooth in use by quite some margin. Its default screen is still a watch face, which you cycle through with the up and down buttons, with apps and settings available at the press of the middle metal button. Here you get the music player controls, notifications, archive, alarms, watch faces, settings, and then your downloaded apps. Now, the Pebble Steel sticks with last year's e-paper screen, and for good reason. It gets the job done and allows the Pebble to keep going for 4 to 5 days on a single charge. And overall, it's very easy on the eye, great for reading outdoors, and text looks as crisp as it needs to. That backlight is useful as well, and contrast is top notch. And just so you know, not only is the charger proprietary, it's slightly different to last year's cable too. So the Pebble Steel is the best smartwatch you can buy right now. We'd quite like to see a bigger screen, possibly colour e-paper, as well as more storage and official support for Windows Phone and BlackBerry. But saying that, it's still very, very impressive, pleasantly affordable, open and trustworthy, with a well thought out feature set and an app store that has serious momentum. So it's hardly surprising then that the Pebble Steel is currently sitting in the top spot of our best wearables list. But for how long is another matter.